you shine in many moments, including on the big screen. Joining us now, the very talented and funny Terry Crews. Thank you so much for being here.
What does he want?
What?
What does he want? Man, why you always got to show off, man? I mean, everybody can't be built like that. Why you always got to show off?
What'd you say, Steve? What'd you say? I'm sorry, I'm busy showing off. What did you say? the pets are popping as we speak. Let me tell you something. I'm 48 years old. 48 years young.
Yes.
And my thing is, hey, man, I can take it off. I'm going to take it off while it still looks good. You know what I mean? I'm trying to show that, all the ex-ball players, the whole thing, you ain't ever got to stop. You ain't never have to stop. I'm going to keep it going.
No question. You haven't stopped, but I do want to talk about, we'll talk about Brooklyn Nine-Nine after your show, but we want to talk about your first career, which was playing in the NFL. You were drafted by the LA Rams in the 90s. What's it like having football now back in your city in LA?
Wow, it was so strange because, everybody, it's wild. When you leave the NFL, there's a love-hate relationship because you never leave the way you want to. It's either you're injured or you get cut, or they make you get out, they make you retire. I mean, very few even do that. So when I left the Rams, I remember leaving LA in disappointment and heartbreak and the whole thing. I had played with a couple more teams. But the fact is, now that they're back and you see it again and you're like, the old feelings just came back. And, it was like, wow. But then I also remembered that when we were there, they hated us. The bandwagon was off. I mean, everything was Lakers and nothing else. Literally. I mean, we were kind of, I remember trying to get in a club and it was like,
because LA, it's only if you're winning, right?
Well, you don't have to worry about that for the immediate future. I can tell you that much. You don't have to worry about the Lakers in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
But I will ask you this question.
Okay.
I've been trying to tell people that there's a window of opportunity here, but the Los Angeles Rams are in danger of messing it up. Jeff Fisher is in his 22nd season as a head coach. Only 6 times has his team made the playoffs. This guy is just, record-wise, it just reeks of ineptitude. How much of a window of opportunity do you think Los Angeles are going to give Jeff Fisher before they turn on him, if not the franchise, considering the way they looked Monday night against San Francisco? LA ain't tolerating that. There's a lot to do.
No, one season. One season. This is. You got to understand, that's like me going shirtless in a softball game and then whipping out. You know what I mean? It was the same thing. You take me off the mound. You take me out of the play, the whole deal. You only have one season because L.A. is not the market you have time to develop. You see all the hype they were giving, covers of this magazine, covers of that magazine, the whole, HBO series, the whole deal, and then nothing. You can't have that in L.A. L.A. is not putting up with that. There's too many other distractions, too many other things.
Molly pointed out you played for the Rams, 91. Wasn't your defensive coordinator Jeff Fisher?
Jeff Fisher was my defensive coordinator, the whole thing. And,
so, tell me about him. Time for him to go? Good coach?
No, listen, I love Jeff. I love Jeff, the whole deal. But a lot of times it's really out of his control right now. You're talking about a team that was in St. Louis literally a couple months ago. Sports teams are about confidence, history. You have to have some sort of schedule. These guys are all over the place. They don't know where they're living. You know what I mean? These guys have to uproot, get over here, let's go, put on the uniform. It's kind of like, it's basically a wrestling match where you're moving your trucks from one stadium to the next, and no one has any semblance of stability. And that's what a team needs.
Terry Crews, you think I'm going to let you sit on this show on national television and get away with what you just said?
Well,
I understand that about this season. I specifically prefaced my comments by saying this man is in his 22nd season as a head coach, and only 6 times he's been in the playoffs. Now, what you going to say to that? What you going to say?
Wow. Well, like I said, they gave him one season. One season.
But you also said that it's unfair, all the moving trucks and playing without continuity. So is that one season unfair? Should he get more?
Nothing is. You can't. It's all a bunch of different reasons. You can't really place, say, it's all this or all that. Jeff Fisher has got a shot. He's got his shot. But I'm telling you, L.A. is not going to put up with it. If he does not win, he will be gone. I know it.
Fair weather fans, yeah.
Fair weather, the bandwagon is crazy. Just look at what's going to happen to the Lakers in the next few years. No one's going to be at Staples Center.
Let me transfer this. Listen, I've known you for years. I got nothing but love for you, bro, and I'm proud of the work that you've been doing. Game shows, movies, television. I mean, you're the man. But let me ask you this question. I mean, because I'm an Expendables dude, man. I don't know if people realize how good the Expendable movies were. Yes. I mean, with you and Sly Stallone and Dolph Lundgren and Jet Li and I mean, I'm an Expendable. Jason Stratham in the crew. I'm an Expendables kind of dude. Are they coming out with another one? Are they coming out with another one?
No, that's it. I have to say.
Really?
No, they're not. Sly, again, man, Sly is moved on. And I think he should. You know, the man, you know, was nominated for an Oscar. And I think we've done enough with the franchise. You know, they were looking for guys to bring in, like, you know, they were really reaching for the fringes. I think we need to leave it, you know, on its winning kind of deal right there.
That's
I mean,
fair.
we go into 4 and it starts reaching for stars that ain't that much, you know, everything's like, eh.
Well, you know, Stephen A. makes a habit of being wrong, especially on this show, so he's going to be wrong on your best movie as well. Is not from the Expendables. It's Idiocracy.
Oh, dude.
It's President Camacho. So here's my question.
Go ahead.
Longest Yard, Draft Day, Idiocracy. Which one's the closest to true life?
I got to go with Longest Yard.
Come on. We're living Idiocracy.
Yeah, I know. No. First of all, I don't even want to touch politics right now because it's too crazy.
I don't blame you.
Yeah,
I don't blame you.
My thing is, with True Life, all them brothers in jail, yeah, Longest Yard is the one that hits True Life. That's the thing. When I look at this whole thing, my career has been kind of like, people have their favorite things. You know, it's kind of wild. I go to church, everybody hates Chris. I go to sporting events, they love Expendables, The Longest Yard. I go to a comedy club, they love Idiocracy, or in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So one of my big things is always being all things to all people. And you got to understand, I made the transition. Coming out of the NFL is one of the hardest things to do as an athlete. Because the NFL, they don't want to see you. You have a helmet on the whole time. Everybody is trying to get recognized so that they can do something with the fame or do something with the money, and they can take it to another way. But the problem is, you take off the helmet, no one knows who you are. And it's so hard. Basketball players don't have that kind of thing. Baseball players don't have it. But football players have the hardest time because they are relegated to the fringes when they are done. You don't even know a guy's retired until like 2 or 3 years after he's gone. And it's so wild because I've talked to old players, I've talked to guys about making that transition, making sure your life is full of purpose and not just goals. Because when you try to just hit the goals, you get them or whatever, but you don't know what to do with yourself when it's over. Mm-hmm. And these guys, man, you got to understand, I was on a Charger team that has seen, people who are my age, that there are over 7 or 8 guys who passed away since I retired from playing football. And I'm talking about, I'm only 48 years old. Yeah. And I mean died in terrible circumstances. Suicide, drugs, different issues that never got resolved. And I'm really all about helping the players, man, and helping, because my heart is, you have to see how small an NFL career is, how small a sports career is. And everybody treats this thing like, you drop a ball, you miss a pass, it's your whole life forever. You missed the kick, you missed the field goal, but your life keeps going. You know, and the thing that blew me away is when I went to Europe and I started trying to find NFL sports scores and couldn't find them. And I realized nobody gave a damn all over the rest of the world. And I said, you know what? It put the thing in perspective for me, and I was able to say, oh, wow, it's not life or death. It's still fun. It's still a game.
Terry,
I'm sorry, I lost.
No, it's okay. But
I lost myself.
No,
man.
it was
Molly,
powerful.
for a second.
Molly, listen, guys, I know we got to go. Terry, man, I just wanted to say I'm proud of you, bro. You and Michael Strahan and what y'all are doing is special, my man. It's special. All the best to you, my man.
Love you. Love you, Stephen.
Same here.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. We're looking forward to another season of Brooklyn Nine-Nine as well, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate those words as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, hope to see you again soon.
Oh, you got it.
Jimmy G off to a flying start after one game for the Patriots. He upset the Cardinals. A lot of people didn't think he'd win that one. His numbers in one game are better than Tom Brady's stats through the first 2 games in his career. How about them apples? Jimmy Garoppolo, as Stephen A. calls him, completed one last pass, has a higher completion percentage, higher passing yards, and more touchdowns. That was without Rob Gronkowski. Will Kane, what do you expect from the Italian Stallion?
Please, can we not compare him to Brady? Please, not yet. I expect this. 4 quarterbacks made their first start this past weekend. Garoppolo, Wentz, Prescott, Simeon. I think 3 of them, and Jimmy G being among them, the bloom will fall off the rose. There was an article this week up on The Ringer showing that everyone dinked and dunked the first week away. Every one of the passes were like 6 yards in the air. Some of them as short as 4 when it comes to Trevor Simeon. That's going to end. These players, as soon as defenses get a little more complex with these first-year starters, 3 of them are going to tail off, and Jimmy G is going to be one of them. The Dolphins are a team that people are sleeping on a lot. I think like the Vikings, that defense holding the Seahawks in Seattle to 12 points. I am looking forward to see that Dolphins defense against Jimmy G. By the way, just so I don't leave you guessing, Stephen A., that one quarterback that's not going to turn, it's not going to wilt, that's Dak Prescott. It's just going to get sweeter as the season goes.
So are you picking? What are you picking? You pick,
Dolphins.
What do you think is going to happen? The Dolphins going to win this game?
Dolphins going to win the game. Yes.
Well, you know, listen, first of all, a couple of things. When you rock back and forth the way that you do in that chair, it just shows how nervous you are. And listen, we're just talking sports here. Will, there's no reason to get nervous. I mean, don't panic. All I'm going to do is expose you for being wrong. That's all I'm going to do. There's no harm that's going to come to you. It's the United States of America. You're free to be wrong, which you are all the time. And this is the latest example. This is the latest example because here's the reality. Did you see the Miami Dolphins offense last week?
I did.
Now, I understand it was against Seattle. I understand it was against the Legion of Boom, but the bottom line is they've looked that way no matter who they've gone up against. Ryan Tannehill only threw for 186 yards. Arian Foster's their new running back, my brother. I love Arian Foster. But the guy only ran for 38 yards. Jarvis Landry had 10 receptions, but they were for 59 yards. I mean, the Miami Dolphins, their offense has looked discombobulated all through training camp, through preseason, and now into the regular season. I have no faith in them yet. I think Gase is the right man. I think he'll do a good job for them. But I think that what we're trying to find out and discover here is how valuable and real and legitimate Ryan Tannehill is because he got the $95 million deal. Let's face reality, people in South Beach don't believe in him. He looks the part, you know, handsome man, good-looking wife, seems like a family-oriented dude, really decent dude, looks like South Beach got the nice tan, the kind of tan Will Kane would have if he wasn't in Bristol all the damn time, if he was down in South Beach. But that adds absolutely, just like it has no substance to your argument, it adds no substance to his game. So in the end, what it comes down to, Will Kane, is that Ryan Tannehill and that Miami Dolphins offense, it's not going to be good enough. You look at Jimmy Garoppolo, not Jimmy G, Jimmy Garoppolo. It's really not that. I mean, it was an impressive performance, but 264 yards, a tad bit above pedestrian. He's working under the system of Bill Belichick. He'll be just fine. They'll run the ball with LeGarrette Blount. He'll feed dudes like Martellus Bennett and Edelman and those boys, and they'll do enough to win this game against an improved Miami Dolphins defense. But just like defense wins championships, points win games. And Miami ain't going to win too many of them because I don't expect them to score much. I think New England wins this game something along the lines of 23-14.
Well, the odds on Stephen A. complimenting Ryan Tannehill's looks over Jimmy G's were low. Like, that was not the
Jimmy
shot
G's a good-looking guy.
Well, that's what everybody's saying all week,
in the business of I'm not in the business of complimenting how men look. I don't roll like that. That's just not my style. But if you're a handsome dude, I got to give you credit where credit's due. I look at Tom Brady. I'm telling you right now, I see some of his outfits. I'm like, damn, I got to get one of those. I got to get that blazer. I got to get that suit. I mean, if you got it, you got it. I got to give you props. You understand? But that's all it is.
Just giving credit where credit's due. We appreciate that.